So basically, if you talk about animation, it encompasses quite a lot of things. Like
Hmm.
we can just take the basic principle of how films work, right? We can take individual pictures that are kept in a sequence that look
Hmm.
like these when they are played fast at a certain pace, it looks like the every this image is moving, right? So we take that and then we use different materials, something that is not just image humans and things around, to create something that is animated. So sometimes it can be something that is completely non-animated stuff like a table or chair, or sometimes it can just be images like sketches and all that. Sometimes it can even be paintings. So whatever you can think of that cannot be moving, we make them move, is what we do in animation. Right. So, see, there are basically animation is something that even if I try to and try to put them in the number of forms that can be possible, I don't think I will
Hmm.
be able to count them all on my fingers.
Hmm.
But like if you take basic, like on a very crux, we can talk about something that is traditional animation, which is basically what we do when we draw and when we make those. Then we have something called CG animation, that is computer generated animation. In computer generated animation, we will have 2D animation and 3D animation. So the 2D animation is two dimensional, those flat images that you see,
Hmm.
where like if you take movies like Klaus, which has come out recently, or you take any of the old Disney movies like the old Lion King and all that, they were all 2D animation. Whereas now, if you see movies like the new Lion King, or if you see Toy Story, all of those are CG 3D animations. So these are the major types of animations which come towards what we call CG. And then we have a different genre of animation which is called stop motion, where we take objects, we take clay, we take anything that you have around, and then we use that to animate it. And we take pictures one by one, frame by frame, and then we put them all together to make it look like it's moving. Of
So,
course. So, what you are talking about is mostly 2D animation, where,
hmm.
say, in 3D animation, it's much easier, where you can
Hmm.
just have these 3D objects that are made for the backgrounds, and then you can keep on tracking and panning the way you usually track a camera.
Hmm.
When you
Hmm.
talk about 2D animations, what we usually do is that we create each of these things in separate layers.
Hmm.
So, say for example,
Hmm.
if there is something in the foreground, okay, and then there is
Hmm.
something in the midground and there is something in the background. Now, anything in the foreground, if you are tracking a camera, okay, anything in the foreground will move faster than anything in the background. The background is
Hmm.
almost static. Anything in the foreground
Hmm.
is moving much faster. That way, you create a illusion of parallax, and that is how you create movement. So that is how we do any sort of tracking, how if we have to do any tilts or if you have to do any pans or something like that, we usually use that sort of process. Now, having softwares like After Effects or having softwares like even 3D Blender and Maya, where we can do
Hmm.
some 2D tracking on in
Hmm.
there, it has become much easier, where I can actually tell the computer that these are the different planes and these will be at a certain distance from each other, and I can just take a camera and track it just the way I usually track a normal camera. So in animation also we have got two types of people usually. There
Hmm.
are people who are called specialists, and then there are
Hmm.
people who are generalist. In
Hmm.
generalist, usually we have people who know a little bit of everything. So like
Hmm.
for me, when I was studying in a film school, I learned a lot about filmmaking as a live action medium,
Hmm.
as much as I learned about animation also. So
Hmm.
in a way, I have got a sort of training for generalist. Okay, and then you have people who are specialists. So in a specialist case, usually you know two or three aspects of the filmmaking. So say
Hmm.
for example, if you have a 3D animator specialist like who is a modeler, Okay, so
Hmm.
the person who is a modeler, a good modeler, will know a lot about modeling, almost everything about modeling, and then he might know a little bit about something called rigging.
Hmm.
So, which is a little, where a rigger is a different person, but you know rigging because you need to model it in a specific way. And
Hmm.
then if there is a person who is an animator, will know a little bit of rigging also. If there is a
Hmm.
person who is a texturing artist, will know something about how background and lighting works. So
Hmm.
it's interchangeable to a certain extent, but we have got very specialist people. Just like in live action, if you have a DOP, I don't expect that the DOP will be someone who will know acting properly or something like that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it is a specialist department also. So I will just take you through the general pipeline first of animation before
Yes,
I can come
yes,
to
yes.
animatic. So what happens usually when we have an animation that is made is that, see, as an animator, like you said, that you have to draw each and every frame. So it
Hmm.
is really, really hard to sit and think about post mein sab dekha jayega types. You can't just take
Hmm.
five extra shots and think about, okay, maybe one of the shot will be good and one of the shot will be bad, and we'll
Hmm.
just chuck one out or something like that. So
Hmm.
what we generally do is that before we start animating, we edit the film.
Hmm.
We edit the film using images, but those images are just static images.
Hmm.
So in a way, we exactly know what the film is going to look like even before we have started animating the film. Okay,
Hmm.
so over here, often what we do is that we have got our own animators or our own acting voiceover artists or someone like that, and they
Hmm.
act out the entire script. Okay,
Hmm.
and then you have someone called storyboard artist. So
Hmm.
storyboards are like these individual boards that we
Hmm.
use as a reference of how the final frame is going to look like.
Hmm. Hmm.
So now what we do is we take those storyboards and then we animate it a little bit so that it gives a general idea of how the animation might be looking like. And then we
Hmm.
take that and we edit it onto the whole script, the way the script is being told. So that exactly we know, okay, if this shot is going to be of 7 seconds, I will only make those 7 seconds. I don't need to make more than 7 seconds or 8 seconds, like that.
Hmm.
So that is the pre-production pipeline, where what we do is we start with the story script. Then once the story and script is decided, we go into there are three other departments which work simultaneously. First of all is the character designers who are working
Hmm.
on the characters. If there is a character in the script, then you have character designers working on the characters. Then you have the background and layout artists and the prop artists, who basically are like production designers in a live action film, who are working on the production design of the whole animation. And then you have the people who are working on the story. They are the ones who make storyboards, then they make animatics, and then they make edit the animatics and see how the film is going to look like. So these departments are working in parallel to each other. So that is basic production pipeline, pre-production pipeline. Yeah, so basically one of the things is the time when I came out of animation was, I think, the worst time for animation. There was a bubble burst that had happened. So in
Hmm.
2004 to 2008, there was this amazing boom that was happening in animation, where people
Hmm.
were getting hired left and right, and like it was really, really amazing for being an animator in that
Hmm.
time. And then
Hmm.
suddenly there was a bubble burst where
Hmm.
people started to get like it just became weird. And after that point of time, a lot of people were not getting work as much, or they were not getting the right kind of work. A lot of my friends who had specialized in, say, uh, animation or modeling, they started to get work like VFX supervisor or animation supervisor or some
Hmm.
pipeline supervisor or something like that,
Hmm.
um, which is basically a management job.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that was one of the things that, from there again, picking up was always the thing that we have
Hmm.
done. We had to pick up from there
Hmm.
because we knew that at that point of time we were at our worst. So it has
Hmm.
got much better after that. It has
Hmm.
grown slowly. It has not. There's not been a boom, sudden boom. Um,
Hmm.
so, and yes, and I think there is a slow growth, but it's at least in the right direction.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video, and if you like what we do, follow us on our socials and check out our other uploads.